Hi, my name is Nina Srinivasan, and I'm the Executive Director of Transformative Educational Leadership, or TEL. And today I'm sharing with you one of the game changing practices you can incorporate into your classroom. In fact, what I'm about to share with you, every single professional learning I offered, and just a little bit about me, I spent 5.5 years working in partnership with the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, also known as CASEL, the nation's leading organization when it comes to the advancement of research, policy, and practice around SEL. And I worked with them for 5.5 years to implement social and emotional learning system-wide in the Oakland schools. And every single professional learning I offered, hands down, educators felt that what I'm about to share with you was the most useful takeaway. And so, what I'm about to share are the three signature SEL practices. Now, these were first developed by one of my mentors, Ann McKay Bryson, and then we built them out. We actually created a playbook in Oakland. And if you go to my website, you can email me, request the playbook, and I'd be happy to send it to you. And it has tons of different examples of welcoming inclusion activities, engaging practices, and optimistic closures. But the three signature SEL practices are an easy way to integrate social and emotional learning with your instruction. So let's just go through each one, and then I'm going to share an example of my favorite signature practice. My favorite, it's an example of an optimistic close. So what is a welcoming inclusion activity? It is an activity at the beginning that intentionally connects everyone to the work ahead. For example, a check-in or a community builder. Now, this is not a do now, because it involves individual think time and purposeful social interaction. And it's always connected to the work at hand. It's connected to the content of the day. And it's important because it sets the tone and it invites participation. And research shows that when you get students talking at the start of class, they're more likely to stay engaged throughout. And I also want to say that I use these practices in all adult professional learning spaces as well. And I use them in all meetings. So they're not just for the classroom. What's good for the classroom is good for everyone. So, what are engaging practices? Engaging practices are a variety of culturally relevant engagement strategies that encourage active participation, like philosophical chairs, gallery walks, four corners. There's tons of these examples in that playbook I mentioned. So do get in touch and I'll be sure to send it your way. And why? Why is it important? It's how we learn best. It gives our brains opportunities to pause, make connections, and anchor learning. And this is where we also want to be incorporating some of those brain breaks. And I like to think of brain breaks. There's a great strategy from an organization called Engaging Schools called the 30-90-10. Every 30 minutes, ensuring that students move for 90 seconds, 10 feet if possible. And we need to do this because it's how we can integrate new information more effectively, and it really supports our learning. And then finally, an optimistic closure. So this is thoughtfully finishing your class with an activity or your meeting for that matter that honors our work ahead and helps us look ahead. And why do we do it? It's time to celebrate, reflect, or motivate towards next steps. So including these practices, again, they can be a game changer, and they're really reinforcing routines and rituals, which we know are essential when we're trying to create a classroom that really honors community. So, again, engaging practices in particular, they build and sustain community while promoting engagement. And when we're talking about engagement, what we're talking about is sustained learning that involves learners emotionally, cognitively, and behaviorally. And there are three key elements for each signature practice. So all of them, whether you're doing a welcoming inclusion activity, an engaging practice, or an optimistic close, they all involve individual think time, purposeful social interaction, and they're connected to the work at hand. So let's watch a video now, which is a short 60-second video, but it is my favorite example of three signature practice. It's an example of an optimistic close.
It's appreciation, apology, or aha.
The closing circle activity is called the three A's: appreciation, apologies, and ahas. So the whole purpose is just to have some space to reflect on our day.
All I want you to do is to stand around the room somewhere in a circle while we do our brief shout out.
People can either identify an appreciation they have, an apology they have, or an aha, a moment where there's like a light bulb moment in their head.
My aha was that race is not the only part of our identity. So can we get a few people to shout out an appreciation, apology, or aha?
I want to appreciate Jonathan. He helped me kind of figure out where I wanted to go with my personal statement.
I think those types of appreciations or community recognitions can go a long way to build the bonds. That's the whole point, right? Building community.
I apologize for having my headphones in half of the time to everyone.
Thanks a lot for that, Carlos. That means a lot.
So again, you can send me an email and be sure to get that playbook with tons of strategies to you. And I just want to close with a question and something you could take with you and think about as we close this video. It's just, what are the benefits of the 3 Signature SEL practices for students and teachers? What are the benefits for students and teachers? So thank you so much. I hope you explore incorporating these practices into your work and life, and wishing you well. Take care. Have a beautiful day.